Hi there. Welcome to the Healthy Church Staff Podcast. My name is Todd Rhodes. I'm one of the co-founders over at chemistrystaffing.com, and I'm your host here on the Healthy Church Staff Podcast. We're here every Monday through Friday for about 5 to, 7, sometimes 8 or 10 minutes of hopefully some encouragement and some motivation and just some insight into what it takes to be a healthy church staff member. So I'm so glad you're here. And I tell you what, today, if you're feeling stuck or uninspired, or maybe just feel like you're going through the motions in ministry, you're really going to hopefully enjoy today's episode, because today we're asking a big question. And it's all part of our series inspired by Wade Hodge's book, When to Leave, How to Know When It's Time to Move On Before You Stay Way Too Long. And here's the question, the big question for today. Have you stopped dreaming? Have you stopped dreaming? We're going to explore why losing your ability to dream might be a signal that God is getting you ready for some type of a change. So stick around. By the end of the episode, hopefully you'll have some tools to rekindle your vision, or at least clarify or bring a little bit of clarity about what's next. Okay, here we go. Ministry should be fueled by vision, a general sense of excitement about what God is doing in your life and in your ministry and how He's using you. But sometimes, over time, even the most passionate leaders can lose their spark. And if dreaming about the future feels like a chore, it might be a time to take a little bit of a closer look at why you're feeling that way. And Wade points out in his book, and if you stick around until the end of the podcast, I'll tell you how to get a free copy of Wade's book on us at Chemistry Staffing. But Wade points out in his book that when we stop dreaming, oftentimes there's about 4 reasons that he's come up with that's the case. So if you've stopped dreaming, maybe it's one of these reasons. Number 1, maybe you're just overwhelmed by the present. And I get it, man. Day-to-day demands of ministry, especially coming off the holiday season, the demands of ministry are heavy. And sometimes you just can't think beyond next Sunday. And you might be a little bit too drained or too busy to dream. Okay? So that's number 1. Maybe you're just overwhelmed. Maybe number 2, maybe you've just reached your limit. And sometimes we've accomplished what we were meant to do in a specific role. I hear that all the time when we talk to candidates. I love where I'm at, but I just feel like I've accomplished what God has wanted me to do here, and I'm ready for a new challenge. So maybe you've reached your limit. Maybe staying longer where you are just feels like you're treading water, like you're running in place. So maybe you're overwhelmed. Maybe you've reached your limit. Maybe you're afraid of failure. Sometimes when you dream, and especially when you dream big, that means taking some risks. And if fear is holding you back, it may be worth examining why that is. So you might just be afraid of failure. That might be why you're not dreaming right now. And then finally, the last reason is we've stopped believing that change is possible. Have you ever been there in ministry? Maybe you're there right now. When you reach a point where you're at in your position at your church, where you just feel like, hey, we've been stuck. I've tried, but we've been stuck on the same patterns for too long. And sometimes you just start to think, what's the point? I can't do it here. I don't think that change is even possible here. If any of those rings true, losing your ability to dream doesn't mean that you failed. Let's get that straight, okay? You're not a failure. But it is a signal that something needs some attention, and that could be rest, it could be renewal, it could be a new direction. So here's the bottom line for today. When you lose your vision, you lose your direction. When you lose your vision, you lose your direction. If dreaming in ministry feels, or even in your personal life, feels just impossible right now, here are some steps you can take. First of all, reflect on what energizes you. What's changed? You used to be energized in ministry. Why were you energized before and you're not energized now? What parts of ministry bring you joy? What's missing from your current role, from your current day-to-day that used to light you up and either it doesn't anymore or you've gotten away from that? So reflect on what energizes you. And then maybe take a little bit of a break. Even a weekend away sometimes can reset and connect you with your why. And brainstorm. Brainstorm without any limits. Grab a notebook, write down all the things you wish you were able to do in your ministry, not just where you are, but in your ministry, your career goals, your ministry goals. Don't filter or judge. Just try and dream big. And then maybe you just need to talk to a trusted mentor or a coach. Sometimes that outside perspective can help you reignite your passion or help you discern if it's even time to move on. So this week, your action step is to schedule. I'd love you for some time, and it's Monday, so you've got all week to schedule this. Try and schedule 1 hour of uninterrupted time to dream. And find a quiet spot, preferably out of your office. Take some time to pray and ask God to renew your vision. Write down whatever comes to mind, no matter how big or how small. That could give you some answers, and it could jumpstart your dreaming again. If you stop dreaming, I'd love to hear your story. Tell me what you're feeling, what you're experiencing. We could even maybe do a Zoom call and talk about it. That'd be fine. You can email me podcast@chemistrystaffing.com, and I'd love to hear about where you are and what might be next for you. If you've not subscribed to the podcast, maybe this is your first time here, but you don't want to miss future episodes, go ahead and subscribe. And I am one of the co-founders over at Chemistry Staffing. If there's any way that I can help you or your church with hiring new staff or realigning your staff or any kind of staff assessments, you can reach out to me anytime. Podcast@chemistrystaffing.com. Okay, I promised you, if you stayed around till the end, and you did, believe it or not, I would tell you how to grab a free copy of Wade Hodges' book. It's called When to Leave, and you can get that right now for free, absolutely free, no strings attached, chemistrystaffing.com/when-to-leave, chemistrystaffing.com/when-to-leave. It's full of really practical insight. Wade shares his heart. He's been there and done that, and I really think that it'll help you navigate your journey. Okie dokie, thank you. Oh, boy, I haven't said okie. Whoever says okie dokie? I never say that. Thanks for joining me today. Remember, dreaming is an essential part of leadership, and if you've lost that spark, don't ignore that. Take time to reflect and refocus and discover your vision, because your ministry and your church and your future depend on it. All right, take care. I'll see you tomorrow right here on the Healthy Church Staff Podcast.